Emma Raducanu stood tall, not just as a champion on the court, but as a young woman confronting something far more disturbing than any opponent across a net. This time, it wasn't forehands or volleys she had to counter. It wasn't a top-seeded rival or a hostile crowd. It was something far more personal. Far more chilling. A stalker. Earlier this year, she was thrust into a nightmare that no athlete, or any person, should ever have to endure. A man, unknown to her, crossed a line. He sent her a letter. He tracked her movements. He approached her at a coffee shop and asked for a photo. He was persistent, unsettling, and eventually, he was dangerous. The situation escalated quickly. Law enforcement got involved. The courts responded. A restraining order was issued. But like in so many of these frightening cases, the paper barrier didn't stop him. The man tried again. This time, by attempting to buy tickets to Wimbledon, Emma's home slam, her sanctuary, the cathedral of British tennis. He wasn't just trying to watch a match. He was trying to get close. To violate boundaries. To break through protective walls. But this time, the system worked. The All England Club, home of Wimbledon, stepped in. They blocked his ticket purchase. They enforced the order. And in doing so, they did something more than just uphold the law, they sent a message. Emma Raducanu wasn't alone. She wasn't unprotected. And most importantly, she was heard. In a world where so many women feel dismissed or disbelieved when they speak about stalking or harassment, Raducanu's case stands out because it wasn't brushed aside. Because the tennis world, so often focused only on wins, losses, and rankings, paused to prioritize her safety. And Emma noticed. She didn't stay silent. She didn't just let it pass. She came forward and praised the Wimbledon organizers. Not just with polite words, but with genuine gratitude. Because when you've been through the anxiety of looking over your shoulder, when you've faced the fear of intrusion in your most private spaces, being seen and defended means everything. This wasn't just about a stalker. This was about reclaiming peace. About restoring trust. About making sure that Wimbledon, a tournament steeped in tradition, was also modern enough to recognize the emotional and psychological safety of its players. Raducanu, young though she is, has always carried herself with composure beyond her years. Whether fielding press pressure after her historic US Open win or facing injury setbacks, she's always done it with grace. But this moment was different. This was vulnerability in public. And she showed strength not in stoicism, but in acknowledgement. In calling out what happened. In expressing thanks when things were done right. Because for every public figure stalked, harassed, or threatened, there are dozens who go unheard. Because not every venue listens. Not every institution protects. Wimbledon did. And Raducanu made sure the world knew. She didn't ask to be an advocate. But by simply speaking, she became one. Her story won't just resonate with fellow players. It will echo with young fans. With women everywhere. With anyone who's ever felt the slow creep of fear while doing something as simple as walking into a coffee shop. Emma Raducanu is more than a tennis player. She's a role model. Not for perfect results, but for courage in imperfection. For resilience in reality. For shining a light on the darker corners of fame and saying, not here. Not anymore. And so, as she returns to Wimbledon, not just as a competitor but as a symbol, she does so with more than a racket in hand. She carries strength. She carries a voice. And she carries the support of a sport finally learning to stand beside its stars, not just above them. Wimbledon, this year, won't just be about center court rallies. It will also be about protecting the humans behind the headlines. And Emma Raducanu, once again, will be leading the way.